Hello, and welcome back. Decided to push through this. You guys get to see me basically sleepwalking the video. Oh, I don't know. I get a little loopy when I'm this tired, and I don't know. I have some post-exertional malaise after this day already with my COVID, so it might be a bit to record anything more. Might as well. I don't know. Try and get some stuff done. Um, Although this will make it longer, obviously, with rounding of days, so to speak. If it's a few more hours, but those were hours where I would have been asleep anyways, recovering, or part of a day, and I still managed to get something done day. On the last day where I'm really, I don't know, it's maybe dumb, but I've really got to produce content because on COVID I'm too sick to work, and I have to get this YouTube channel where I can make some money to survive, and hopefully be able to go to the country before it goes fascist or authoritarian, at least, and hunts down socialists like me. I'm a democratic socialist. Trump has already said some very fascistic things about socialists being the enemy, and I'm sure someday they'll try and sit me in a forced labor camp just because they don't like my political views. The crazies like Trump, the far right of the GOP. Basically, capitalism's contradictions are becoming so severe that socialism is gaining ground again in the United States, and the ruling elites will use violent repression just like they did in the first and second Red Scares, which happened conveniently in the malaise after World War One, when socialism was gaining ground because people were annoyed about World War One, and socialism had actually been pretty strong before then. The Soviet Union had just formed, and after World War Two, where the Soviets had been our allies, and then we'd start a Cold War. Truman did that. He was a fricker piece of shit who wasn't even really elected the first time. He won the air quote won the convention vice presidential nomination in 1944, but he didn't really win it via a fair democratic process. The party bosses rigged the convention and didn't allow votes when he was projected to lose the convention, and they gave these big speeches praising him. And well, no, I should say the exact things. They didn't allow votes on the first day when he would have lost by a landslide. Then they spent a whole night bribing delegates, bullying them, promising them jobs, which they got. So that's a form of bribery. Bullying them, intimidating them, trying to reason that Truman was better. They did everything in their power, the party bosses, to make sure that delegates, even delegates who had promised they were going to vote for uh, Henry Agrid Wallace, who was, by the way, not to be confused with the GOP guy who was super racist. Wallace was a strong proponent of civil rights. He wanted to desegregate the South. And when he ran in 48 against Truman, when Truman was running for re-election, he had this plan to desegregate the South in like 1949. So he was ahead of his time. He was a proponent of civil rights. He was a democratic socialist, most likely, or at least a social democrat, like to the left of Bernie Sanders, for sure. And he wanted to be friends with the Soviet Union. He wanted to roll back the Civil War, which the American people had not picked. It had been undemocratically foisted on us by the Truman Doctrine. Um, he had been FDR's vice president from 1940 to 44, and as Secretary of Agriculture before 40. He was extremely popular, well liked, and he was from a critical electoral state, Iowa, I think it was. Uh, he was the obvious pick for vice president. The party bosses hate him because he was friendly to socialism. So they forced Truman. They rigged the convention. They didn't allow votes the first day. They bullied the people. Um, there's a legend that they went so far as to flick the circuit breaker, turn off the lights on the first day when people tried to force a vote. Uh, on that very first day, people had promised to vote for Truman because they saw the party bosses trying to rig the nomination. This would have probably resulted in riots today, but it was in the middle of World War II, so kind of like almost martial law, very strict law and order, plus a lot of the fighting age people who might have rioted being off fighting overseas. So not, in Italy and stuff, because the U.S. has already invaded Italy at this point, so not there to, and I think this was after D-Day. So, with all the GIs overseas, they couldn't be there to protest that their democracy was being stolen from them. And then and the party bosses knew FDR was going to die, and he did very shortly thereafter, after Truman became the vice president. And, or actually, I think he died before Truman had even taken it officially, but I'd have to check the timelines, but after he'd won the election for it, so he was incoming vice president. He was, I forget exactly how it happened, but yeah, 'cause FDR dies in 44. I think it was like a month after, so I think it was like December 44. I would have to check the exact timelines. Truman becomes president very shortly after, you know, the rigged convention. Then does most of term that he was never elected to, really, that people didn't want him, forces the Cold War on Americans, even after the Soviets have been our allies in World War II. And then he actually sets the ball rolling for the second Red Scare with J. Edgar Hoover, who was a piece of shit and actually been involved in the first Red Scare. He'd helped run a secret police network that Woodrow Wilson was a racist piece of shit, just like Truman. Like, Wilson had been accused of being a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Anyways, Trump's probably going to try and do a third Red Scare and arrest socialists, not just communists. And as in democratic socialists, because all communists are technically socialists, but socialists, people who identify as that term, are usually non-Marxist Leninist socialists like myself. So, yeah, I have to get out of the country. It's going to be fascism, or at least it's going to be an authoritarian government that. So I got to produce content is the point, to survive, because I need to be able to get out of the country, and I need to be able to show I can support myself financially, or other countries are not going to want to let me in. That's despite some will already probably not want to let me in just because they tend not to like letting in left-wing people. If you're fleeing I'm just trying to look at the fire catapult ranges. This is talked about in some of the works of Michael Prenti. Like, the U.S. will often, in Europe, Western Europe, will often allow in refugees from right-wing, left-wing reigns of, left-wing governments, but they won't let people fleeing from right-wing reigns of terror, because if you're fleeing from right-wing reign of terror, by definition, you must be left-wing and undesirable to the ruling class. At least that's his argument of why there's this double standard, and it's a reasonable one, I think. It does explain it somewhat well. Right, the Seeker will target him, so it's harmless. Atomic. I did realize, though, when I was... Oh, I could get these eggs, which are as good as enemies. Hold on, what's the magic damage of this Muse? Up to 6. He's walled. He has... Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about it. Alright, let's focus on... the kin is dead, because it keeps laying these eggs, and the Chrysalis is as good as enemies, and it's sheer numbers I have to worry about, I think, the most. The Muse, not so threatening. Kill both the Dream Chrysalises, good. Since I'm behind the wall, and it would have been hard to reach them, I would have had to deal with those as more thrusts soon. Muse tries to dominate Tarmac. It's a waste if it uses its exhale. It can't get through his shield, warding, and walling. He actually could take up to 7 damage without taking any health. And he's got temporary health to boot. But what I realized, I hadn't realized initially, is Samil can fire this catapult. He's dealing with thrusts. I'll put him here in case he needs to double back. He can do it all from stealth. So nothing will really harm him. This won't hatch for a little bit. I should actually hit the Chrysalis that's further. That might be out of range. There we go. How range of his arrows is. Alright, this isn't... I thought that was in range, was it not? I mean, of the... I thought the catapult could hit that. Oh well. Did I miss even that? Regardless, you should be able to shoot this chrysalis. Can't dodge. Keep aiming. We can hit the kinestate again. The poison will eventually finish off, if nothing else. Alright. Righty then. These two could hold on against virtually anything. In fact, I'm gonna move Hui here so she's out of the way of Gemmalad. She can hold that position on her own easily. Yeah, I guess the Dweaver could. All it do is shred a temporary armor. One of the engaged ones. And Brenner's in a little bit of a... I guess Tomric can engage them all though, so it's fine. Gemmalad race to help them. They're getting a little bit overwhelmed up here. Wonder if there's any more enemies this way. There might be. Well, we can deal with them if there are. Alright. These two won't be able to touch Tomric hardly. He's got too much armor. All they can do is normal damage to him, really. Load the catapult. And fire. Hit the kinested. Yeah, the stupid muse could dominate Brenner if it stays around. Probably should try and kill it. It's got 1 health left. Alright then. I want to shoot that. I want to see if... Brenner should probably get out of dodge. This muse could dominate him. There's no guaranteed way to kill it. Some high likelihoods, but if he got dominated, he would just... There's no reason to keep him here. Tomric has got this for the most part. We'll withdraw this rock. Re-interfuse it? Darn it. I can't do that. Shoot. Alright, load the save. Should have noticed he didn't have line of sight there. I thought he did. It's such a stupid thing. The game should tell you. They have line of sight for interfusing. It does for us to everything else. Oh, shoot. I have to redo the fire of the catapult. whatever. Same outcome, more or less. Chrysalis might take different damage, but it was dead either way. Cool. Not trying to save scum or anything, I just... Alright. Bushes and rocks. And if he goes here, he could infuse stuff. Stone. I'll give him some survivability. Whatever may come next. You can maintain interfusions through where you don't have line of sight. Just need to be in range. Here the Muse can't see him. And you should be able to maintain both interfusions. Chris, keep watch this way in case there's more enemies to come. That might be smarter. Needs to kind of withdraw from that rock anyhow. I'll get this close in case that refuses the tree. That'll help get the last bit of visibility this way. And no, nothing could hide so far. Wanted to get in range of the tree in case there was something here, but the left side's probably clear now. Alright. And Jevenlod. Can't reach the Muse. This bow. This crossbow. Figured as much. Oh shoot. Shoot. No, I did not repeat. There's some things I don't mind missing, but oop, I didn't want to open the folder. Just think you can do that. So just making sure there's nothing personal that showed up in that. Doesn't look like it. Documents. Forgot to repeat the engage. That has to be repeated. Sorry. That's really critical, and I did it before. I just accidentally this time. Oh, I actually killed the Muse. Wait, not trying to. Instead took less damage though. Great. Because I can't have these things coming down here, and actually I could set flanking this way for Jevenlod. That was something I realized. So I could kill that Seeker. Or the Dweaver, but no, that doesn't get quite flanking. Can't quite. Alright, that is why I didn't. I really need to happen. just saying I could have had him. You can't undo a move if it's turn enter for character, can you? Whatever. Oh, if he goes here, he could interfuse those rocks, which could actually be useful. Just wanted to get close enough there to tree, but I'm just going to use it to scout that corner, which is almost certainly safe. There's a tiny odds that there's something ram like a Thrixl wandering. I don't know if they can communicate where I am over the entire map with enemies. So, could there be anything here? Probably isn't. Might be. I don't know. We just move here where nothing can see her. No range attacks can reach her. Okay, load and fire the catapult. Thrust can interfuse with that shrubbery all he wants. Doesn't matter to me. If I miss it, prevent it from doing it with the catapult. I don't know if they're smart to figure out that the catapult firing means there must be someone next to it. Okay. Canister number 2. Number 1 died due to poison, I think. Or the catapult shot. God, I'm very tired. Sorry, I don't remember if I killed the Kinstead. I think I did, the first one. Okay. Eat damage, because it does extra for the knockback. It's also 8 damage. Oh, it's got higher base. Is there a tier difference between his weapons? Oh yeah, mace is only tier 1. Like it should do more damage. Alright. This isn't like Age of Wonders. If you watch me play this, you can't fumble the attacks, so it's really just does he hit or not. I need to functionally this and the mace are equivalent. Knockback is irrelevant if it's gonna be dead. On a hit, fumbles make you miss in that though, don't they? Alright. All I have to actually do is engage this Jill. I can kill it with a dagger. Boom. Now, Thanrria just needs to do something with this kid instead. Might be out of range of the catapult, but it's definitely out of range of his. Not really. Bow, what does it say? In case there is something around here that can source the eggs instead of eggs themselves. Where's Brenner? Can't quite reach anything around here. Alright, I'm confident there's nothing over there. It's interfused with a couple stone objects, probably just barely in range to maintain the interfusions, but remaining enemies are probably melee only. Oh. Need to kill this. There's 2 of them. Oh, the catapult will kill them both at once, guaranteed. So they got hatching Thrixl. Brenner go here so you can interfuse with the stones. Might lose the other interfusions, I'm not quite sure the max range. From there though. Heck with it. Thrusts are melee only anyhow. Oh, this has enough range. That might be the end. There might be another enemy, I don't know. Oh. Not dead yet? Maybe I have to finish the last chrysalis off. Shoot. Oh. Special extra long range bow can reach it. I don't think anyone else can. Just Brenner. This thing has 2 to 9 max range. Wow. I could actually upgrade to have 10 if I made it rating 3. Infuse with both these stones. Did was these interfusions, it looks like. Why are they showing up like that? He's no longer infused with them. Weird. If he was. Whoa. That was accidental. Whatever. It's probably the last enemy. Yep. I don't need to really care. A spell shard. Useless. Yeah, this gives potency though. That's what I had a hunter with one once early on. And when I was desperate and not holding out for better items because it was really new, I think it was my very first campaign, and yeah, Jump Jaw does more damage sometimes with the spell shard and offhand. Anyways, salvage. Uli is now a blackthorn, or blackhorn, sorry, not thorn, blackhorn warrior. That's the highest level in the game. Hardiness. Making her a lot tougher. I don't know if it adds to health from augments and stuff, but it would give her at least a couple. Vigilance or Raider. She can break a piece of scenery dealing 5 damage to all foes adjacent. Yeah, I'll just give her hardiness. Makes tank even harder to kill. Uli, now with 18.8 health. So if I can augment, she could very easily get to 19. Super tough. Engage plus, stalwart plus, hardiness, and 8 plus. So she's extremely tough, and if she's side by side with another warrior, she can aid them so they can stay by her. So she, you know, doesn't have her companion fall and then get overwhelmed. Because the whole thing is, if you know, if I ever go in with a warrior, they use engaged so that enemies not too many team up on them. They regenerate temporary armor with stalwart and such. Yeah, it can hold off an enormous swarm of enemies if it's necessary. If I can concentrate 2 warriors in one place and didn't have to split them up like in this battle. Anyhow, dust ripples on the sun. On the sun means under the sun. Some of the grammar isn't quite right. You can tell. I don't think English was the first language of some of the people who made this game. It was made in China, I believe, partly. The team made it some cool people. I don't mean to, people are going to think bad things since they hear a country, because unfortunately there's a lot of anti-China propaganda, but they're cool people, and it doesn't matter where they come from. They had a dream to create a kind of cutesy game like this, and they did. And they might be Chinese Americans, like I think they may have moved to the country as they're making the game or something, I don't remember. Dust ripples on the sun. Noise dies among the acorns. Hope this is worthy of your wall, Uli. The wall King Rolf bled his last on. Does feel like something. The ancient wall, strong-boned wall, doesn't fail them. Yeah, that would have been a difficult fight without the wall. The catapults and stuff. I mean, probably still could have done it with this team, but a lot of parties would have gotten slaughtered. Old Nars, you did good work here. Thank you. Old Thnarria, I don't know if old King Nars is... There was a King Nars. Let's see. King Rolf Nars, maybe? Or is it... She's referring to the civilization, Thnarria. In a few days, they'll head home. Old King Rolf would have been proud of them. Maybe not so proud of his own cowering descendants, eh, Stone Fox? I'm a fox. The wild guy was wishing he had kind of helped, and it would have been nice to have a 6th in that fight. Someone who knew how to use a bow. No infested tiles remaining, so 10 years of peace fall. Victors undermine enemy's plans. They've been weakened. I should save. Alright, anyways. No more muses until they draw that card again. Thrusts don't do extra magic damage on their second bite. Mirrors also not available. Horn Childs don't do extra damage. Raccoons don't do extra damage. And darts. Those are all pretty... some of the better calamities for them to lose. During the years of peace, when Lilsu moved into a new cottage, Uli decided to surprise him with a commissioned tapestry from Pt2 at the Weaver Works. These two are soulmates, lovers, and I even saved their relationship. Well, Sum's retiring, but we should keep going to next chapter. Probably. Didn't say retiring at this chapter yet. Yeah, retiring now after this chapter. So yeah, she just barely made it to next chapter, which is the final one, so should be as long as I play, no matter what now. Because people don't retire mid-chapter. Some of the gory details in the requested battle scene raised the Weaver's eyebrows, but Uli knew her beloved and insisted. Brenner found love with a barmaid who always had a snappy comeback. Late nights turned to early mornings as they brushed the world off each other's shoulders. Well, that would be nice. That would be nice. My wife, unfortunately, with long COVID, no one wants to really date someone who's disabled. Almost anything else, people don't seem to care, but if you're disabled, I mean, I've, like, they'll ask if I'm a medical student, I'll explain, no, I just did a special master's at med school, they don't care. I can explain money's tight or something, people don't care, but the moment they hear, like, long COVID, at least man able to work. Gone. Hiking the perilous Sevenmouths range provided Javelin with a different kind of opponent. There is no hatred in the heart of a mountain, but neither is there mercy. Javelin took what lessons he could from it. Leisler went back to the place he grew up, and was tempted by old acquaintances to remain there. But in the end, the past proved an unwise place to linger. Isn't Leisler... sorry, spoiler if you saw that. Dark-hearted, distant, mysterious, yet mysterious might cause that particular thing. But in the end, the past proved an unwise place to linger. Like certain tidings, I think is what these called, are more likely to roll if they have certain hooks. Smeal found solace in his spare time by planting trees. The trees required no instruction. They grew all on their own. One of Thanrria's first challenges was when Brenner asked them to tan the hide of a buffalo twice as large as anyone had ever seen. How did you... Hunting it was easy. Find a cart willing to pull it back? Now that was a trick. This is, I think, one of the Thanrrias my party built. Or a Thanrria. Thrixl's life ran its course in peace and honor. And then the days after her death, a shimmering egret seemed to stand vigil on the shore by the house. Sometimes a tortoise would join it. Oh yeah, because Thrixl, well, she retired, so she won't show them now, but she was one of the two where she had the tortoise shell talisman. Yeah. Now my legacy. Thrixl Smallkins is no longer in your company. She'll go into your legacy and may play a part in future stories. When the battlefield was done with him, Wilsum dug a home into the side of a hill, well hidden. He delved deep into the earth, following his heart towards things long buried. So, like Minecraft-y? House in the side of a hill, deep into earth? Wilsum Double is retired. He's no longer in your party, but will go into your legacy and may play a part in future stories. Whereas Thrixl, after she died, I guess, technically, retired. But either way, they're in their legacy and they can, come back. It doesn't really permanent this game in a way, because they're legends. It's magic. Don't dig too deep into it. Tomric Flock's daughter has reached adventuring age. Tomric Flock has joined the Troop of Hope as a hunter. Really? Tomric? It couldn't have been, Uli, who already had a kid, John Ponderwing, previously, but could have had one with we'll assume. Tomric didn't even have a romantic partner. And he's rivals with this child. That's sometimes happens randomly. I suppose that's you can lock him into rivalry, or there's a chance to become friends in a future campaign. I think he already had a child too, Borsid. This one took his last name. The last one was with a party member, something Sid, I think. Or maybe it's a random name from a... Why does it always give me hunters? The game really... I already had 2 hunters in my party. I don't need more hunters. I need more warriors and mystics. Hunters like Tomta thrive in the wild, surviving through stealth and peerless archer. They master surroundings and bring down large quarry. Extra health and armor for a hunter. That's good. They never have enough armor and health. Warding, especially good for hunter. Potency, pretty good. Block, they're not really tanks, but it does help if they have more. Charisma and tenacity. Physical, shame, and destiny as hooks. Well, shame gives an extra chance of inhabited. Tomta Flock, his daughter. She's interestingly bisexual. Just notice you can switch to customize. He was straight. Yeah, it just randomly rolls it. It's not. I don't think there's any genetic system on it. Tier 2 crossbow, Tier 1 dagger in the game, even though in real life there is a genetic propensity. Easy protection is what today's wildwalkers needs. It starts to travel trap. Probably would have rather gray bark, but I think usually when hunters, someone's kid. But yeah, she's got decent stats. She rolled decent stats, so in terms of characters who I might want to use again, she might be one of them. She's got 3 personality traits. Only things over 50 are useful, so not dull. Some characters only have like 1. Healer, leader, bookish. She's got good personality, good stats, good hooks. Yeah, this is a good hunter I rolled randomly. Tomta was a smiling girl with a contagiously helpful attitude. When there was an argument among the children of Broom Falls... Broom Falls? Is that even... That must be the new town that shows up in Chapter 5. They tended to look for her to sort it out. One bad year, she was snowed in inside a mountain village. Bandits raided through the winter. In the ensuing cold and widespread starvation, most of the town's people perished. Tomta was one of the few to claw gauntly on. Embers of old legend kindled her spirit. She strode blazing towards glory. Maybe that's what the shame hook is, something she did to survive. Did she like have to turn to cannibalism? I hope not. In terms of starting things to roll though, not super fond of Thornfang, although it can be nice to be able to pull back after killing an enemy with a dagger sometimes. Killing an enemy in the entering gameplay is probably even worse because you often be up front after killing an enemy and then they'll just search for you because they'll know you're around. I think I'd rather have ambush. I usually do ambush kind of hunters. Ones who hang further back, set up jump jaws, clawing mosses, support the whole rogue Thornfang. Some people love it. Ooh, I do tons of damage. Yeah, you do, but the hunters are super squishy, so if they get caught doing tons of damage on the front line with that, Thornfang ups a little with them getting back, but they can still only fall back as far as they can move in 1 remaining action point, so... Has to be a melee kill, too. You often can't get in range for a dagger safely. Yeah, I'll do ambush. often be used to have a hunter stay far enough back that the enemy can't move and hit them. It's good for a low-level hunter supporting a higher-level party like this. It's especially useful. Maybe she sensed those would be our last years with the company. Thrixl grew happier. Day by day, the weight of the world seemed to lessen, and she recited poems, passed her knowledge on to those who were called to listen, who benefited most from Thrixl's wisdom. Gained 3 legacy points from not having anyone or XP. Could give it to Samil, Brenner, or Tomta. These two are only level 3. I think it tends to select lower level. I don't think Brenner's even leveled up since I brought in the party, but yeah, he's got Earthscribe Interfuse and Blind. So he's and Soul Splitting. Earth Mind opens. Mind Soul. So he's pretty much guaranteed to get. I mean, he can upgrade one of them if nothing else. For Tom to be able to survive the next chapter against high level Thrixl. I can bring her in fights as long as the main battle line is strong. She just needs to stay back mostly. Whereas Brenner, I really need him to get a little tougher so he can hold the front and not die. Same with Samil. These two are kind of weak, especially with Samil, and our weakness in the front line that now only has, let's see, 6 characters. Samil and Brenner are a little bit weak in it. Yeah, we have 3 solid characters who can really hold the front. Uli, Jevenlad, and Lyser. Oh yeah, no, and Tomric here too. Well, Tomric and Uli are great. I rushed to get the stun so Uli would be around, because otherwise it would have only been Tomric who was a warrior. Lyser is not great yet. Jevenlad's a hunter, so he can't really hold the line, but he does okay. Still, the 2 warriors, Brenner, sometimes Lesser. You know what? I'm probably going to be waiting a little bit for incursions. And Tomta could get in serious trouble if she's only level 1. So I'll pass on her XP to Tomta. Could have done Samil, but this will, being level 2, the extra now having 8 health, and being able to reach level 3 and have 3 armor in reasonable time, that'll make a huge difference. Oh, and Foxfight, which will massively improve her survivability. Yeah. I like Foxfight. It's a very good hunter thing, and that'll allow me to have her not die reliably enough that she can take part in harder fights, like in a fighting incursion, as long as she stays back, just ambushes. She'll be alright. That's the same 3 for, well, Sum's chance to trait hand-on experience. In the years leading up to his retirement, Wilsum quieted down some. He spent many nights simply lost in thought. Then, like a dawning sun, his laughter grew bright, and he started narrating long, riveting tales from his life. The lucky ones who listened learned more than they ever supposed. Who benefited the most from his wisdom? Anyway, I think that's like the level 1 version of Night Mail. That's fine, because usually, unless you bring someone like Chapter 5, they don't start with Night Mail if they retired with it. Anyways, who benefit legacy points? That's like 1.5 fights. We're just having characters higher level allow me to survive longer. Brenner could definitely use experience. It's hard to... Let's see. What about Smeal? He's gritty and mysterious. He's got a cat, which I don't love, but also Bolt, which is darn difficult to... Brenner could get one of those too, actually, if he got maimed. I think Taunt is okay. It wouldn't actually be bad if Brenner followed in a fight. I'd like Smeal to be more able to hold on. So, Smeal. Give him some experience. He's now a Bronze Horde Hunter. Another thing is he gains some speed. He's starting to get older in years, so he's getting slower. I need, you know, he gains speed with levels, and I want to do fast enough that, you know, he can actually get out of danger. Make him much more useful. So the speed, especially if he gets an alignment that increases it, or he levels up and gets to 6. Yeah, now he's at 4 armor. This will all make him faster recovery rate. This will all make him much more capable of contributing to parties and fights. Once per combat as a swift action, grants plus 50 stunt chance to allies within 5 tiles for 1 turn. Ooh. That could be very helpful. Long reach, extra range with all attacks and melees. So melee and ranged. This will allow him to attack with a dagger diagonally, probably. Maybe even shoot further. Or he could hobble enemies with his range strikes to prevent the front line from getting overwhelmed. Oh, that's probably even better in long reach. Bard Plus can unfortunately only be used once per combat. I'd probably be terrible at selecting the right time to use it. Plus I can roll Bard Plus again as an upgrade if I get something that's just bad. I like all of these. A higher level warrior can put Thornfane to better use than a low level. The ability to hobble enemies with his arrows, that could be very useful, especially if he gets ambushed later. So that, you know, you can hang back and like use ambushes to protect the warriors so they don't get overwhelmed, as long as the warriors hold the front line. You can also prevent, if he's somewhere behind the warriors but in front of the mystics, he can prevent the squishy mystics from being reached. Yeah, crippling strikes. It's gonna be that or Thornfane probably. I could advance Javelin's transformation. No, heck no. Oh, that's got some serious range. That's because he's got very high potency right now. Useful, but you know, I prefer daggers and crossbows. It's magic damage though. It doesn't even, if enemy has high warding. Keep one human arm. Yeah, I think he went into this campaign with the Legari transform. He could have turned Storm. It's only one of the legs specifically, but alright. Gear upgrades and a chapter gear upgrades. 55 minutes already from before. I guess you guys will see this. You'll see it start the next campaigns. See what the map looks like, what the hook is for what's going on, and I don't know. could start the first fight. Probably actually wait for incursion or two before I start clearing sites spike, though. So probably just build defenses and wait. Try and intercept the incursions if possible instead of defending. But if I have to defend, I want the defenses. Alright, low level hunters die very easily. They're way too squishy. Cross the grade. Trial to thorn bark. It does use hides, which I'm pretty short on. This would allow Tom to actually survive alright, though. Cost her half the speed. She's young. Still have over 6 speed. She'd be okay. Well, there's a chance of rolling Thornbark after a fight. This drop. Should probably be rather focused on her being able to actually survive the first few fights. Everyone else has level 2 armor. Whistler, Heather Drab. Brenner has Raven Wing, which I would eventually hope to cross upgrade to Raven Drab. He needs the armor for sure. Doesn't need more warding, really. Especially as he gets temporary warding from... Yeah, his armor is pathetically low. This will allow him to actually sometimes get... Yep. Alright, so Thornbark for Tomta. A shield. I like these shields. These are closer to these are like kite shields technically. And you know, they protect the legs some. Realistically, these are probably better designed than these round shields. Spike on this is nice, but yeah. Got plenty of ingots and heartwoods. Tom's just got a shield now. Not most of my party. I know mechanically they're all the same. It's more of a stylistic thing than 3 shield types. Just like that one. Smeal's Ghost Draft. Probably should have Heather. I mean Thornbark. But I think I was a little worried about his speed. Yeah, so it's gonna wait till leveled up before. This doesn't cost any spell threads thanks to him already having. Just get him 5 hides. A long coat, sewn with well-disguised splunting under its alluring embroidery, is worn over a soft and hardy gown of magic-imbued threads. Such has become the honored dress of this age's wild-ranging mystics, who often rove from town to town, collecting wisdom, and distributing it in equal measure. There we go. Now he's much better armored. 3 armor, 3.6. You should actually gain more. Little as he levels, very slowly. He'll get up to 4 if he reaches level 7, but more likely I'll give him an alignment that gives him plus 0.5 at some point. But yeah, if he's got a couple, if he's calcified a couple stones, then he, you know, has 5 armor, and that's decent. Gives him some serious survivability and against melee things like thrusts, so I don't have to make the warriors take some risks to keep them safe. Still don't try to get them into melee, but then it's less the warriors can focus on staying alive themselves a little more. If they have spend all the time protecting the glass cannons. It's a problem. Alright. Surviving and doing damage. That is the words can... How I use them can be more of a priority. It's really not safe to have special low-level hunter race forward to catch stuff to enchant. 2 heartwoods and 3 spellheads, 3 heartwoods. Oh, no, fabric. So I got fabric. Well, the water crossbow doesn't help as much with survivability on a low-level hunter like her. Doesn't synergize with ambush as well either. It's definitely got much higher damage potential. And you can sometimes let the hunters fall back. If I'm using ambush, though, you know what? Fabric's slightly tighter in heartwoods, which I have pretty much all I could ever need of available. And yeah, I could go all the way to a tier 3. For the extra range, really, is the real reason I'd want it. A tier 3 leaf crossbow. This will give some serious survivability, and if she gets a little bit of temporary hit points from... Although I could just invigorate her with, like, Javelin. I kind of wish I had the water version instead. Invigorate, or aid, or rock shields and certain. I don't know. It would allow her to go and take more risks. Question is, what's her stun chance? That would 15, and be 20 with. She has rivals with Tomric, which means he'll be hitting things a lot as a warrior. So eventually, yeah, she could accrue some extra. It's not as good in the long run, but for surviving her until she reaches like level 4, this will be better. I don't like the name Black Hell for. The Aspen Seeker Vile Toke. Yeah, it's too long. The Hawkpine Song. I like that name. Or Hawkpine Song. Tier 3 leaf crossbow. And in future, like when she comes back, it'll often come back as a tier 1 or 2, but it'll still be leaf type instead of standard. So it's always a little better that way. Daggers, though, water is usually best, because if someone is using dagger, either it's an enemy is swarmed, in which case situations getting desperate, or they've raced forward and they're likely to take some hits, like even if Foxflight is up or something. Yeah, I generally don't do leaf daggers. They don't really work with ambush. Well, they don't work at all, so... I got the hides. Yeah, the reason I'm investing so much in this low-level hunter is because they, well, lower-level characters don't have a ton of bonus damage, especially hasn't been accruing augments or anything that would add any. Its daggers do double damage on the portion that gets through armor when they're flanking. So it's a huge increase in damage. This extra 2 is often, it's like +4. It can make a difference between killing an enemy and being safe or not being able to get in close because, yeah. Plus, if she's in a party against incursion, someone else is probably not. And I can't have the whole party at risk because she's under strength. Flame Winter's Night. You know what? Flame would suggest. I'm just going to call this Winter's Night. Sword or 2. Cool. So extremely well-equipped hunter. Best equipment I can give her. She should be able to survive an incursion now. Let's see. Tomric. He's kind of getting up there in age. He's going to start taking a lot of hits. I don't use Guardian that much. I want to switch him off to a sword from his mace now. It's more accurate. He also has accuracy as you get older. Well, he hasn't yet, but when you get older in this. And swords give extra dodge chance. So as he's getting up in age, he's less likely this way to get overwhelmed with a bunch of hits on one turn that can get through his temporary armor. They can be used to even dodge against, range attacks when the warrior can't close. So, whereas mace will be useful if you hit something up close. So when I am waiting for him to get closer, holding position, flanking with engage, but not actually being able to reach him, that kind of thing. Swords are helpful. These kind of games often have swords overpowered. Too strong relative to other weapons types. It's such a gimmick. Honestly, swords are not as good a weapon as a mace usually in real life. They weren't like against armored opponents. But I guess these enemies aren't really wearing armor. Blunt weapons are great for getting through medieval knights armor. I don't like these names. This is one of the reasons. Star Witch is chiller. I don't like the witch part, but Star's chiller. That'll work. I don't like having to select a good name for a name, which is a weapon, which is another reason that I prefer to upgrade armor. Just to save myself that for finding a name I like for their swords and such. Something that has a theme based on the magic type it has. Where possible. Could upgrade Vigil Keeper. Only costs a couple ingots, 8 art woods, and 4 spell threads. That's a lot of spell threads that I might need out things later. Could even, I will recruit a legacy hero. Oh yeah, I can give Javelin a better crossbow. Importantly, it's got more range. 6.9 minute. Well, a Daniel 6 point. Yeah, this might not actually really add to the range at all, would it? I could spend a legacy point to go one hide over. It's like half an extra battle I have to fight. The extra range would allow him to do much better. Yeah, worth it. Green Song. I'll have to wait to upgrade Vigil Keeper for when I'm more... Wait, what? I'm out of Heartwoods? Well, definitely get more of those soon enough. Maybe in the final fight. Sorry, I got an incredible range, but tier 3 Vigil Keeper as Insane range, 10.6. For when there's nothing to refuse, he needs to attack a range, but that's actually not that often. Took me a lot of realize you can upgrade legendary weapons like this, like moth bite. Artifact weapons, which like this isn't from mod. They're artifact weapons. This is part of the base game, and they characters keep them between campaigns. I mean, they always keep their weapons, but they keep the fact they're artifact and not just like a random crossbow. As opposed to like, you know, a random water crossbow. The tier may still get downgraded on like moth bite, but that happens with the other weapons too, I guess. So not that different. I'll probably wait till more hides and such. Heartwoods and upgrade some of these weapons further. You can upgrade stuff in a campaign. If I'm sitting around, I can take my time since this is the last chapter. So, alright, let's see what happens here. Made the upgrades. It's gonna I'm out of hide, which I need for most upgrades that I could make. It's not telling me there's anything I can make without spending legacy points. Alright. So, next. It began in the summer. Ancient formations suddenly slithered off mountainsides. Fields farmers had sown spat up their seeds. Weary walls slackened and slouched, where wall knights stood upright. From time to time it could be felt, lying down to sleep, listening to the beams and foundations. Everything softly, very softly, shaking. The disturbance is dissonant with the will of the wild keepers. Beyond saying so, sages can but sagely shrug. Hey Uli, you still... Ah, there you are. I'm still here, yeah? You made good time. Why wouldn't I make good time? Hope you didn't drink everything. Why wouldn't he make good time? Because he's old as... 80 years old. Speed of 3.5. I think even Uli's faster than him. Oh, she's got the same speed. 82. Uli and Lyser spend the night going over the accounts of trailgoers with the others, parsing possibilities. One story stands out, for it was repeated most often. A wolfman lived by a hill, and one fall morning, the hill yawned open. That's the guy we need to talk to. You want us to find a wolfman who lives across the world? Or at least the place, right? They leave on the heels of dawn. What lurid monsters wait? The road is for imagining. What new legend will be hung on our names or sung off on our graves? Trails give way to trails, days to more days. Perhaps Jote Time, the wolfwalker, still lives. His unique knowledge of this disaster is what they hope to salvage. I prefer you to the sun, Candle Moon. Wolf Moon. This is a reminder. Enemies get stronger. I've got time, at least, I think I got this once before. I remember you have a limited time till the first. This is a 2-part chapter thing. And I think you get sent to a place somewhere else and you have a certain number of days. Because you're catching, there's like a thing burrowing underground. You have to catch it before it moves on. Could be a site you've even already cleared, I think, for the second part. Could be wrong. Ah, there's Sevenmouths. Wait, Sevenmouths? If that's the town of Sevenmouths, then why did they say that Tomta grew up in Broom Falls? There's no Run Pony, Dwarthiafeld, Thoring Noble, Bedware, guess they live somewhere off map. Well, parents, her parent Tomric. Oh yeah, you get a sibling relationship also with one siblings, though I don't think that's like a parental one, and then I don't think it automatically starts them as level 1 friends. It does exclude things like romances, obviously, so it's not necessarily helpful, but it's better to have a long vertical line of like heroes or sin from heroes than it is to have one huge family with a bunch of siblings. Anyway, I'm exhausted. Why is Oli all the way there? I thought she was having a conversation. And these two, Dorotheafeld, Leisler, and Oli should probably have started in the same place, I would have thought. Not that she's not such a badass. I could go scouting sites like this. Incursions can come. Might as well. Though, yeah. So anything that comes from here will hit bedware for sure. Sevenmouths, there's no past the mountain range except here. Leaving it that way might be dangerous because then I can just leave one group up here. And anything else will come from the south here. I'll probably make for 7 miles based on location. It depends if there's a bridge here. Anyways, I'll definitely want to scout stuff out. See if there's a bridge here. See what lies out there. Alright, well. Hope you folks enjoyed this video. See that place that commissioned the tapestry. I was looking for it anyways. Or maybe I just glossed over it. It's probably somewhere here. Anyways, take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. May you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Until next time, this is Northstar. Adieu. And best luck.